final session of the High Tribunal of Outer Space is called to order. Court will now listen to the final summations in the hearing to determine whether to allow the explosion of the Super H-bomb on the planet Earth, thereby bringing an end to mankind, or to prevent the explosion and allow mankind to continue to live. The spirit of man will be heard first. Summations will be brief.
Noble sirs, many words have been spoken at this tribunal, some of them angry, some of them in milder temper. But whatever the words, I do sincerely believe that down through the ages, the soul of man, misled many times, has survived the deceit of the few and managed to redirect itself through inherent moral strength. My colleague, Mr. Scratch, has maligned and blackened all of mankind for all of time. He does his job well, but that is because it is with him a full-time job, and over a period of 1,000,000 years he has become quite adept at developing man's weaknesses. Yet man recovers and emerges stronger, more capable than ever. Now, all the facts have been presented, noble sirs, and whatever coloring my opponent has chosen to give them, I am certain you have seen their true worth and weighed them accordingly. However, one point has been overlooked, one witness not called. And with your permission, I raise that point and call that witness now in place of the usual summation.
This procedure is most unusual.
But this case is most unusual. And since it carries a decision to affect all eternity, it does not seem unreasonable to beg your indulgence on this one point.
Request granted.
Thank you, my lord. And now I call your attention to my last witness, the man of tomorrow. If there is no tomorrow, and no men of tomorrow, all the yesterdays will have had no meaning. All the sacrifice, faith, and progress since man first appeared on Earth will go unrewarded, and the world of evil, presided over by the devil himself, will have been victorious, if goodness be its own reward. Let there be a tomorrow on the planet Earth.
Before Mr. Scratch delivers his summation, I have an announcement to make. I have just received word that the warring armies have moved against each other on the planet Earth. And in accordance with the destiny of time, the great Super H-bomb will explode at exactly 11 o'clock. I direct your attention to the great clock of outer space. When the clock strikes 11, the bomb will go off and bring an end to mankind unless, as such decisions are entrusted to us, we decide that the bomb shall not go off and that mankind shall survive. Therefore, speak quickly, Mr. Scratch, and make your summations brief, for we must make a decision before the clock strikes 11. Speak, Mr. Scratch.
My distinguished colleague rests his entire case on the so-called man of tomorrow. By inference, he almost acknowledges that mankind deserves no better end than annihilation by the Super H-bomb. And yet, weak and sentimental, as is all mankind, he introduces a sentimental trick and hopes to gain the mercy of the court by introducing a pathetic last witness, a child. I accept the challenge, and I shall use as my final summation the very witness brought here by man. I call your attention to the witness innocently playing with his toys. This is mankind's bright hope of tomorrow, the hope of peace and virtue. Have you seen the toys with which the child plays? A toy gun and a toy sword.
My lords, Noble sir, I ask that the toys of the child be more carefully examined. With the court's permission, the gun fires nothing more dangerous than music. Listen.
Objection. That is still more sinister.
Objection overruled.
And the toy sword is nothing but a pencil box. If it please the court, there is one piece of evidence already referred to which has not been placed on exhibition. The Bible. I ask that it now be marked as an exhibit.
Objection, objection.
Let the Bible be placed in evidence.
First, there is a line to be read.
Objection. That book has no place in this trial and no bearing on its outcome.
Objection overruled. Proceed.
The wicked worketh a deceitful work, but to him that soweth righteousness shall be a sure reward. My lords, I rest my case.
Gentlemen, in the matter of the story of mankind, this high tribunal has weighed most carefully the good of man against his evil, and finds that man is as evil as he is good. His holiness has been equaled by his tyranny, his nobility by his lack of faith. And so the scales balance much too evenly for this high tribunal to determine whether to bring an end to mankind or to assure him eternal life. We therefore reserve judgment in order to allow man more time to set his house in order at the earliest possible date. Take heed and listen well. The time runs swiftly, and the fate of man is now laid at the doorstep of man himself. By the villains you encourage, by the heroes you create, you shall soon achieve eternal life or oblivion. Therefore, it is the decision of the High Tribunal of Outer Space, this court shall soon convene again to determine, finally, whether mankind shall continue or be destroyed by the Super H bomb. This choice is entirely up to you.